Hi, this is Brad, and we're recording this on October 2nd, 2020. Unless you think that all Bill Gates does is spend hundreds of millions of dollars corrupting the news media to help push his vaccine business, he's also involved in some other nefarious things using the same method, just giving money to the news media and to universities. So I'm going to read part of this article, excellent article by an organization called US Right to Know, which is usrtk.org. And here we go. Gates Foundation doubles down on misinformation campaign at Cornell as African leaders call for agroecology. All right, so what is agroecology? It basically says, yes, we need to grow food. Can we do it in such a way as not to destroy the land and the water and the people? We've got a plantation model, which is let's take, 1,000 acres, 5,000, 10,000 acres, put some kind of commodity crop on it, spray it with glyphosate, and that's agriculture. Well, no, that's industrial processing. Agriculture is growing food for people to eat, and that also includes making sure that the land is arable and safe 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 100 years from now. Hey, why not 1,000 years from now? It's possible. And that's the agroecology model. So let's go into why the Gates Foundation is so against that and all the money they're spending and how Cornell University, one of our great Ivy League institutions, is helping screw the American public yet again. Well, in this case, screwing the African public. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation awarded another $10 million grant last week to the controversial Cornell Alliance for Science. Doesn't that sound great? The Alliance for Science. A communications campaign housed at Cornell that trains fellows in Africa and elsewhere to promote and defend genetically engineered foods, crops, and agrochemicals. That would be glyphosate. The new grant brings the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation grants to the Cornell Alliance for Science to $22 million. Okay, so that's just one paragraph. So let's unpack this. So at Cornell University, which you are subsidizing, by the way, with your tax dollars, they have something called the Cornell Alliance for Science. And it's a communications campaign program. And they have offices at Cornell, and I guess, somebody comes and empties their waste baskets for them and serves them lunch and all that kind of stuff. And the whole purpose of this communications program at Cornell University is to train fellows, that, people in Africa. So what they do is they bring the people over from Africa, they train them at Cornell in how to sell genetically engineered foods and crops and toxic chemicals, and then they send them back to their home countries to do what exactly? To lie to people on an industrial scale? Yes, that's exactly what's going on. The PR investment comes at a time when the Gates Foundation is under fire for spending billions of dollars on agricultural development schemes in Africa that critics say are entrenching farming methods that benefit corporations over people. It's really more than that. Africa is a huge place, and it's almost silly to call anything Africa. It's as useful as calling something Europe. What country are you talking about? What city are you talking about? What group of people are you talking about? It's just too big an umbrella. But in any event, it can be said that certainly in the rural areas of Africa, things like land titles and all that are not 100% nailed down. People have just lived on their land for, time immemorial. So what's happening is, with the help of the law, agribusiness is going into rural areas in Africa and just throwing people off their land, taking it and using it to produce commodity crops. It's a banking play. It has absolutely nothing to do with feeding people or taking care of the society there. And of course, when you're growing commodity crops, you want those genetically engineered crops, and you want the glyphosate and you want all that other stuff. So that's what the Gates Foundation, they've spent billions of dollars. Now, this is a foundation. Why are they spending billions of dollars to promote genetically engineered foods and crops and the chemicals that go along with it? All right, so on September 10th, faith leaders in Africa posted an open letter to the Gates Foundation asking it to reassess its grant-making strategies for Africa. And I'll just quote it. While we are grateful to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundations for commitment to overcoming food insecurity, acknowledging the humanitarian infrastructural aid provided to the governments of our continent, we write out of grave concern that the Gates Foundation's support for the expansion of intensive industrial scale agriculture is deepening the humanitarian crisis. And this was signed by the South African Faith Communities Environmental Institute. The letter cites the Gates-led Alliance for a Green Revolution for its, quote, highly problematic, unquote, support of commercial seed systems controlled by large companies, its support of restructuring seed laws to protect certified seeds, and to criminalize non-certified seed, and its support of seed dealers who offer narrow advice about corporate products over much needed public sector extension services. So public, extension services, what does that mean? That means public sector extension services. That means someone from an authentic academic institution being available in a particular region to provide useful information to farmers. Farmers like to know stuff. They like to learn stuff. They're busy. It's nice if somebody can package that research for them and make it a little easier for them to access. Is that what's going on in Africa? No. We've got the Gates Foundation supporting a narrow group of seed dealers who offer very narrow advice about what farmers should be doing. And I love this. They're restructuring the seed laws to, quote, protect their certified seeds and criminalize, let me say that again, criminalize non-certified seed. And I go on with the letter. Quote, we appeal to the Gates Foundation and AGRA to stop promoting failed technologies and outdated extension methods and start listening to the farmers who are developing appropriate solutions for their context, the faith leaders say. Farmers are very practical people, and supported and enabled and brought together, they can do a lot to help each other and to develop an area. And imagine if we provided some of our best information to them, not our Monsanto information. Despite billions of dollars spent and 14 years of promises, AGRA has failed to achieve its goals of reducing poverty and raising income for small farmers, according to the July report, False Promises. The research was conducted by a coalition of African and German groups and includes data from a recent white paper published by Tufts Global Development and Environmental Institute. So not all these universities are completely corrupt yet. Gates and company are very good at stating goals, and their stated goal is to reduce poverty and raise the income of small farmers. But that's not what's happening. Farmers are being thrown off their land and being, turned into basically wage slaves. So clearly, they're not benefiting from the new world order that Gates is helping bring to Africa. And on it goes. But anyway, this is a really good article written by Stacy Malkan, Malkan. It's called Gates Foundation Doubles Down on Misinformation Campaign at Cornell as African Leaders Call for Agroecology. It's published by US Right to Know, that's usrtk.org, and they are engaged in a nonstop battle against Bayer and Monsanto and Bill Gates and Cornell and other corporate criminals whose desire is to basically impoverish the world on behalf of a very small number of people. So that's Brass Check, and I hope you'll look up this original article, and that's it. Bye.